Hello, everyone. My guest today is Max Metcalf. He's the founder of SubClout, a SaaS platform that allows creators to monetize their premium content through BitClout. He works full-time as a strategy consultant and was previously a software engineer for a health tech company, loves building products and talking business. Max, ready to take us to the top?
Yeah, ready. Let's do it.
All right, so when are you quitting the full-time gig?
Yeah, that's the question right now. We're trying to get. There's a lot of question marks around BitClout now, and we're trying to get a little bit of stability there. So we're talking to some investors next week and trying to get things ironed out before we take this dive full
What
time.
what would that mean? So you're talking to investors, but BitClout is sort of unique in that we can invest directly by just buying the coins. So talk to me about what that means, and maybe this is a good opportunity too for those of you that don't know what BitClout is. Max, maybe give a high level overview of what BitClout is and what SubClout is.
Yeah, so BitClout's a new social media platform that's built on top of the blockchain. So, and the unique thing they do is they allow every creator, every profile has their own coin. So you have a creator coin that people are able to purchase, and the price of that coin is directly correlated with the number of coins that are held. So more people buy, price goes up. It's a way for creators to incentivize their holders to own their coin because they can give rewards based on how many coins you had, if you're a coin holder, whatever that may be. So SubClout is a platform that enables creators to do that. So we enable creators to send premium newsletters currently out to their fans that own above, say, $30 of their creator coin. That's what our platform enables. People have invested money into our coin, and our coin price has gone up accordingly.
Yeah, you have about 70 coins in circulation today. The market cap is about $157,000, more than your personal market cap.
Yes, yes, that is for sure. Definitely more than my personal market cap. So the reason to raise money outside of BitClout is BitClout, like the community and the coin itself, like the value of the coin is tied to how many coins you hold. So like me being able to support my salary and my life through that, we're still trying to figure out the business model behind that because selling coins decreases the price and kind of hurts the value of the coin itself. So the reason to raise outside funding is to give us a path where we can build this full time without like hurting the value of the coin in the short term, so we can like build for more longer term gains.
So let me push on that for a second, right? So if you clearly communicated with your audience who's now rooting for you because they want SubClout, they want that, they want Substack to be replaced, they want this tool. You posting an update on the post page saying, "Hey guys, I had to sell 2 coins to pay for a new engineer. Here are the features the engineer is going to deliver you by the end of 3 weeks from now." That shouldn't, I mean, yes, the algorithm, your price, like it will decrease, but then if they get excited by the features and they like the engineer you're hiring, people are bullish on that. They invest more in the coin, it goes back up.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that makes sense. And we've thought about that. We've thought about like having planned sells of your coin in order to fund operations. I think the one thing that's important is that, and the thing we don't know from like a regulatory standpoint or just from a business standpoint in general, is like when you buy the coin, you're not buying stock in the company, right? Those are two separate things. It's like a way to get rewards. So the reason to buy SubClout coin is not because you get X% of the company. It's because you get to use the platform, right? We charge for the platform for people owning the coin itself. But it doesn't give you a percentage of ownership of the company. So trying to separate those, which is what we're trying to do with raising money, is like still gray area, and we're still trying to figure it out. But where we're leaning right now is towards keeping the value of the coin where it is and raising money for operations, not through the coin itself, but through third party investors, where we can bring outside capital in to actually invest in the company itself, not in the coin.
Blockchain enthusiasts would say, "Max, I really wish you could find a way to make those two things the same. We understand the legal challenges, but the whole premise of blockchain is so that there is never another Mark Zuckerberg or Jack Dorsey that controls our data, or our Tim Cook that can do what they want with it, right? And that they sit in between us and our creators, our community, our following. Why aren't you leaning into that? I understand there's regulatory risk, but Uber had regulatory risk as well.
Yeah, I think so. SubClout, how to position SubClout, I think is a big part of this. SubClout needs to be, for it to be successful, needs to be the bridge between crypto enthusiasts and normal consumers. Because like, even if we look at the best case scenario of BitClout, I think like the average newsletter on Substack or the average Patreon page, maybe 20% of them are going to be investing in BitClout, where the other 80% still will want premium content and will want a way to access that creator. So SubClout wants to create a platform where we're the bridge in between. We're an education tool where we educate on what BitClout is, but then we also give consumers the option. So when you go to the creator page, you say you can either pay $10 a month for this newsletter, or you can own $200 of their creator coin. But it is a fine line of like, do you want to go all into crypto enthusiasts and have that be your market? I think that's a great market. But at the same time, I think that market is going to find a way to use BitClout on their own, independent of SubClout. We want to be able to target the whole market. It's a much bigger market. And then we can be that education piece, and we can be like the bridge in between like the normal person who doesn't own any Bitcoin. They couldn't get into BitClout if they tried. And the crypto enthusiast who has millions of dollars in 18 different altcoins, right? We're trying to be the bridge in between that.
Your son or daughter in the background does not like that idea.
Yeah, that's my little daughter Stella in the back. So
hey, that's part of being an entrepreneur.
I'm actually in the nursery as my work from home gig. So.
No, I love that. That's how this works. Yeah, I mean, so one of the things I look for with this sort of new platform like BitClout, it's still very early adopter. I don't know what the numbers are, but I assume it's under 100,000 people that have some material amount of exposure, a BitClout account, whatever, verified account. I always look for the mousetrap, right? Like, what can take this thing mainstream? And it sounds like you're sort of thinking the same way. How can we build SubClout as a mousetrap to connect the everyday Joe Schmo to the folks that are enthusiasts and sort of marry the two? So I guess question for you is, well, a couple questions for you is, this is valuable. BitClout or SubClout is valuable to BitClout, right? Because of the mousetrap nature of it. Are you in any acquisition talks with the BitClout team?
No.
Would you sell to BitClout?
I mean, I'm like 2 weeks in, right? So it's like, would I sell to BitClout? Like, if someone came to me and offered me a ridiculous sum of money, yes, I would sell to BitClout, right? But like, no, that's not our plan. Our plan is to build independently of them. I also think like it's in the interest of both parties to have them run independently. I think BitClout, the BitClout team wants to bring everything into BitClout. So like the possibility that BitClout will eventually offer a premium newsletter where you can do a long form post to your top X holders of the coin, the possibility of that actually is pretty high, I think.
Very high.
The possibility that they will also say you can access this if you pay $10 a month or if you own the coin is very low, because they want to bring people into the community. They don't want to give people that option of using fiat currency. They are crypto like through and through. So I think that's where SubClout can exist as an in-between, where we are in both and we provide value through that. And I think that that's more valuable than having it work only within the BitClout like ecosystem, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. Look, I think about public market today and why I like BitClout so much better. You were one of the early pages, along with Mubs and some other people, building business profiles on BitClout with real market caps. I like the idea of someone coming in, like maybe BitClout itself, and saying, hey, Max Metcalf, Whaleshark.pro, SailX per V2, Clout Hacks, everyone who owns a lot of your coin with the current market cap of 160, saying we're going to offer you a premium of $360,000, right? So it's a 2x multiple on current market cap to acquire this business. I mean, don't you think as this thing hits scale 10 years from now, if it hits, we're going to see these sorts of deals happening where the people that backed and bought the coin early via usage or actually paying are actually the big winners?
Yeah. I mean, that gets, I think from a regulatory perspective, that gets you get very sticky very fast there. Like all of a sudden you're a stock market for private companies who don't disclose any data. And I think like the potential for fraud and the potential for hurting investors more than helping them in the long term is pretty high there.
But Max, isn't this a better way? Like, I hate analyzing products based off laws. Right?
I don't think it is actually. Like, I don't think having any investor to be able to invest in any private company with very limited data that's extremely biased from the creator of the business themselves,
well, then they won't buy the
audited
coin
by a third party.
If you don't publish that data,
people buy my coin, right? And I've put up a website and have an idea and like spit my thoughts out constantly, but like. I'm not, but I could be a fraud, right?
But that's why they do it, right? Because they know and trust you and momentum takes over. There's a lot of publicly traded companies right now that game their auditing. I mean, look at Enron, right? Just because you're a public company doesn't mean you're not going to fraud the hell out of the system and defraud investors. It happens all the time. Happens all the time. But so it's just the value of BitClout is you can now have the community and every public person with dollars in actually control some of this stuff. So I don't buy that argument.
Yeah, I think that people do still fraud the system when it's regulated. I think if we think that the percentage of fraud would not increase if it wasn't regulated, doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Like, I think, yeah, people are going to game the system either way, but like regulations, I think sometimes can help, especially in instances where it's investing in a company with little to no data, right? Like,
yep.
That's I just think that like, and whether we think it's the best thing or not, I think like it's inevitable that's part of the equation. Like the SEC isn't going to allow that to happen, at least in America. So it's like a fine line here, and that's what we're trying to figure out through this whole BitClout thing, right? It's like opened the doors to a lot of like these discussions that are really good, and like I'm really opinionated, but I think I have very strong opinions that I try to hold loosely. So I can be swayed one way to another. And this could be the thing that in the future is a way for like normal investors to get into private companies at low valuations because they believe in it, right? Like if you could buy Airbnb when it was a $10 million coin because, you booked a room and you thought it was great. Like there is potential for that to be awesome. I just think like there's a lot of things to go through now. And I don't think we're there on a platform that's literally like 1 month old. I think we need time to figure out how this thing is going to work, how everything's going to iron out before we make that jump to this being an investment in a company.
Yep.
If that
Max,
makes sense.
Do you have, so ignoring the blockchain aspect of this, do you have your first paying subscribers on subClout, like paying fiat to use the tool yet?
No, we don't charge fiat for our tool.
Okay.
No, we charge
you are going
creator
to
coin for our tool.
I thought you said you're going to have two options. You're trying to bridge the gap. They can pay $10 a month to use it.
Oh, yeah, right? Yeah. No, that's for newsletters. So our customers are the creators. No, we don't. Yeah, we're onboarding our first newsletters this week. So we have my newsletter up. I write a newsletter as well for this called Clout Hacks. That's live. We sent our first newsletter yesterday that was written and sent and packaged everything natively on the platform. So it was really fun for us. And then we're onboarding people. We have like 160 on our wait list right now. Onboarding starting tomorrow. So
yeah,
we're excited for that.
So part of the reason I want to do this because I also want to use this, right? We've got about 30,000 people on our list via Active Campaign and ConvertKit, and we want to move. Part of what I want to do is actually put out data about what I'm doing personally on a personal brand level via token holders, so they can see and they can bet and say, is Nathan going to be worth more in the future or less in the future, and make coin decisions based off that data. So I'm thrilled to hear you personally got the first one out. I'm on the wait list. I'd love to try it. Let's position and go back now to the money side of the equation. You said you're talking to investors. How much are you looking to raise, and what would you use the money on, you think?
Yeah, we're looking to raise like $250,000 to $500,000. We'd use the money to pay salary, build out a team. I've been talking to my friend at work who's Stanford grad, and then my friend from home who's big marketing guy at a tech company. That's kind of our team right now that we're looking at. But we'd need to raise money to like fund that whole process. So
yeah. And what would you do that on? Would you do it like on a note?
Like a safe note.
And would you let, sale K per V2, it's a BitClout user with 3.9 subClout tokens right now. Would you let your token holders participate in the equity around the safe note?
That's a really cool idea. And I think, that's something that we'll look into. I hadn't thought about that, but that sounds like an awesome idea. So
I mean, you can see the negative headline. I'm going to paint it. People can think it, right? It's supposed to be, let's say you let this is going to sound horrible, but some old white guy from San Francisco in his penthouse do your $500,000 round. The rich get richer. All your early token holders didn't have an opportunity to participate, right? And really actually participate there. You could see where all of a sudden you have cultural clashes again. And I just think the more people can do that are building businesses on blockchain like this, the more you can do to align these two things, the better it's going to be for everybody.
Yeah, that's a great idea and a great insight.
We'll have to see what happens. Did you get any responses to the email you sent out this morning via subClout, your own update? Can people is it via email or is it via your own API or something you built inside of subClout?
No, it's via email. We send the email out to all of our subscribers.
Got it. So, but it's not like it's actually going directly to their Gmail inbox. They can reply to you. You can manage replies inside of subClout, things like that.
Can't manage replies right now. We're not an inbox per se, right? We send out a newsletter. We don't have functionality to manage replies yet.
Yep. Very cool. What else? Did I miss anything you want to talk about? I mean, you're excited about the space. You're early on it. Anything I should ask that I didn't?
No, I think that covers it. I think the main thing, the main tagline that we've been going for that I think is really helpful for people to understand is we compare it to Spotify. We want to build a platform that enables people to have the option of paying $10 a month for Spotify or owning 2 shares of their stock. And if you could have that choice, I feel like most people would choose to own 2 shares of their stock, given that you have money to buy 2 shares of stock. That?
I mean, you would do both. So when I used Airbnb for the first time, I'm going, wow, I'm a user. I can clearly see the value. I also want to figure out a way to get exposure besides just rental income. So, I mean, that's what you hope to see happen, right? Is people who use it and love it want to immediately buy the token. And that's what's going to drive the token value up, is because you're giving them so much value.
Yeah. Yeah. But then the next step of that is buying the token means that you don't have to pay the fiat.
Yeah.
So you don't have to pay right. So it's right now you do both, but you'd be even more incentivized to buy Spotify stock if it meant you didn't have to pay your monthly fee, right? That would be awesome. And that's what we're trying to build for all creators. So
Max Metcalf, subclout.com. Max, where else can they find you online?
My Twitter is maxmetcalf12. You can email me, max.metcalf@hey.com. Shout out DHH and Jason Fried for hey.com. But yeah, that's how you can get a hold of me. Appreciate it.
Max with subClout, one of the first businesses actually built on top of BitClout. Thanks for making time for me, Max. Appreciate it.
One more thing before you go. We have a brand new show every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. It's called Shark Tank for SaaS. We call it Deal or Bust. One founder comes on, 3 hungry buyers, they try and do a deal live, and the founder shares back-end dashboards, their expenses, their revenue, ARPU, CAC, LTV, you name it, they share it. And the buyers try and make a deal live. It is fun to watch every Thursday, 1 p.m. Central. Additionally, remember, these recorded founder interviews go live. We release them here on YouTube every day at 2 p.m. Central. To make sure you don't miss any of that, make sure you click the subscribe button below here on YouTube, the big red button, and then click the little bell notification to make sure you get notifications when we do go live. I wouldn't want you to miss breaking news in the SaaS world, whether it's an acquisition, a big fundraise, a big sale, a big profitability statement, or something else. I don't want you to miss it. Additionally, if you want to take this conversation deeper and further, we have by far the largest private Slack community for B2B SaaS founders. You want to get in there. We've probably talked about your tool if you're running a company, or your firm if you're investing. You can go in there and quickly search and see what people are saying. Sign up for that at nathanlatka.com/Slack. In the meantime, I'm hanging out with you here on YouTube. I'll be in the comments for the next 30 minutes. Feel free to let me know what you thought about this episode. And if you enjoyed it, click the thumbs up. We get a lot of haters that are mad at how aggressive I am on these shows, but I do it so that we can all learn. We have to counter those people. We got to push them away. Click the thumbs up below to counter them, and know that I appreciate your guys' support. All right, I'll be in the comments. See ya.